Hi, my name is Jared Carter. I'm a physical therapist here in the Austin area, and I'm doing this video as part of a blog post, an informative blog post for anyone coming into Austin for the Formula One races, and also for anyone who has any kind of low back pain after they've been sitting for a long period of time, or especially if they've been sitting for a long period of time and then try to go up to standing and they find that they get a big ache in the back, or that they have a hard time getting all the way straight. So, as I said, the Formula One races are coming to town, and a lot of people are going to be flying in from overseas or from different parts of the country and having to sit in planes for a long period of time. So I wanted to give a quick description of why this sometimes leads to back achiness or pain, some things that you could do about it on the plane, and also a couple of stretches that you can use once you arrive in Austin and hopefully make your stay a little more pleasant. So, first of all, what we're looking at here, there are a lot of different things that can cause back pain. So if you're having chronic back issues or any really serious pain, don't just go, taking a YouTube stretch and trying that on your own. You really should see a qualified medical practitioner for an individualized evaluation and assessment. But anyhow, what we're looking at today are the hip flexors, and so they generally run on the front side of the hips. And the one we're especially looking at is called the psoas. It's going to run from the front of the spine itself. It actually attaches to the front of your spine, and then goes down on both sides to the inside front of the hips. And so what those muscles do is, when they contract, they lift our hip up like this. So when we're in a sitting position, what happens is that those muscles that are normally lengthened when we're standing are put into a shortened position. As you can see, my hand, the points between my fingers, they come closer together as I flex my hips. When we're sitting, we hold these muscles in a shortened position. And biological tissues like muscles like to adapt to the position that they're held in, especially if they're held there for a long period of time. And in the case of the psoas, if you have any kind of back issue already going on, the psoas tends to really, it likes to guard and kind of protect the low back by kind of tensing or mildly spasming, sometimes significantly spasming, but it has this tendency of tightening up already, right? So when you hold it in this shortened position for a long period of time on these flights or long drives, it'll adapt to that position, and then when you try to stand up, you ask it to lengthen very, very quickly, and if it's already in this adapted shortened position, already tight and already kind of spasming, it's not gonna feel very good. And what happens is, as you try to lengthen all the way up, it will pull. It's pulling down on the front of the spine, and I'm just going to kind of exaggerate, which pulls you into a low back arch and compresses the tissues back here. So that's kind of a long way of explaining why long flights and sitting there for a long period of time can cause low back pain after you stand up, or even while you're sitting there if things get tight enough. So what can be done about it? There's a standing stretch that I really like, and I'd say if you're going to be on these long flights, to try and get an aisle seat so that you can stand up every hour or so and do these stretches, getting straightened up, a little bit of a back bend. You can do some repeated back extensions. But this particular stretch is for the front side of the hip. This standing stretch, you're going to get one foot a little bit behind the other. The front leg can be a little bent, but there's two components of the stretch that are really important. You want your you want your back foot pointing straight forward. So from this position, it's not out to the side like this. It's pointing straight forward in line with the other foot, right? And the other component that's really important is that you straighten your knee. Your back knee stays totally straight, right? So with the foot pointing forward and the back knee really straight, use your quad muscles here, straighten that knee. Then you're going to keep that straight as you tuck your hips under. So you're kind of tucking under like this while keeping the knee straight. If you let your knee bend, then it's not going to be stretching the hip. What we're going for is creating the thigh going backwards and the trunk being straight up and down. So you tuck your hips under while keeping the knee straight. If you're doing it right, you'll feel a stretch somewhere here in the front of the hip. If you're getting back pain with this, then back off the stretch, come out of it a little bit. You might be leaning back too far. You don't want to lean back too far. It's more of tucking the hips under. But you're going to get a nice stretch through here, and you're going to hold it for 30 to 45 seconds. Once you get to Austin or wherever you're going and you have access to a bed, you can do this stretch, which is called the scissor stretch. So you're going to be getting your hips and upper body and leg as far onto the bed as possible. Let this front knee relax and bend, and let the foot just be flat on the floor. Now in this position, you're actually not going to usually feel much of a stretch with this particular stretch, but if you're in this position, it will be lengthening the psoas muscle and it will be doing its job. If you have any pain in your low back with this, try laying totally flat, like so, and see if that takes the pain away. If that does, then you can relax in this position rather than up here. Now once you've been doing this a while, if you're already kind of flexible in the first place, you can also come up to your hands in this position, but again, don't come up so high that you're having any actual back pain. Just kind of adjust your level and height off the bed however you need to make sure that this doesn't hurt you. Sometimes people get a little bit of a stretch through here, that's fine. What we're actually working on is the side that's up. We're lengthening the psoas on this side that's up. So the last stretch that I just showed you, the scissor stretch, you hold a little bit longer than the standing hip flexor stretch I showed you first. You're going to hold that scissor stretch for 1 to 3 or 4 minutes even. As long as you can stay really relaxed into it and it's not causing you any pain. So if you're coming to Austin, please enjoy your time here, and if you find that you have any low back pain after this long trip, try these stretches out and let me know if they do or don't help you. Sometimes a little bit of hands-on manual therapy along with those stretches can really knock that pain out quickly. So try it out and let me know how it goes.